this might be controversial. If you haven't met, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher. I've been playing the violin for over 25 years. I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I'm Suzuki trained. If you're enjoying my videos, please just take a quick second to make sure you're subscribed to my channel. It's easy, it's free, and it really helps me out. And if you're looking for more structure and support along your violin journey, check out my online community, Learn Violin Online. Inside, you unlock a step-by-step proven path to violin mastery, become part of a supportive community of adult learners just like you, and get unlimited feedback from me. So your questions are always answered, and you always know exactly what you need to do to move forward. The link is always in the description. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the top 5 overrated violin pieces in my opinion. I want to put a big disclaimer there. This is my opinion, in my opinion only. If I mention your favorite piece, that does not mean it's not a beautiful piece. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy it, okay? It's just an opinion of mine. Thank you. Before we get into it, pause, write your top 5 in the comments, and let's see if we match. Number 1, coming in strong. You probably already know what it's gonna be. Canon in D. Piece, and it has an absolutely iconic melody. However, this is arguably one of the pieces that musicians have to play the absolute most ever. When I was playing weddings, about 10-ish years ago, Canon in D was just like an absolute standard. Now I think times have changed a bit. Couples are wanting more like popular music rather than classical, but pretty much every wedding it would be Canon in D, Canon in D, Canon in D. And again, it's beautiful, but it's really repetitive. However, we gotta thank goodness we ain't cello players, because their part is the same 8 notes for the whole piece. I think you should definitely learn how to play Canon in D, especially if you're a beginner. But yeah, it's not at the top of my listening list. Coming in at number 2, we have Mozart's Eine Kleine. You know it, right? So again, I think this is a nice piece, but similar to Canon in D, it is just one that us musicians have to play for every event. It's also pretty repetitive, right? There's, the first half of it very similar to the second half of it, just in a different key. So it can get a little old, but I also feel like the melody is not the most interesting in the world. It is a standard for sure, so again, if you're a beginner violinist, definitely don't let me stop you from learning how to play it. You definitely should. It's Mozart, and I think it's a great introduction to Mozart as well, and some of the stylistic qualities that he has without being overly difficult. It's about intermediate level piece. It's not too tricky with the notes. It's definitely the style. But yeah, not one that I would be going to Spotify for anytime soon, Now that we got those out of the way, we're heading into the controversial category. At number 3, I have Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So again, beautiful pieces, but I personally think they are way overhyped. The Four Seasons aren't really seen as standard repertoire that you must learn if you are, wanting to become a professional or in the professional realm. There's definitely more important pieces that you need to spend your time on. However, I think that the violin learner community is obsessed with these pieces in general. And I get it, it's a theme, right? It's always fun to latch onto a theme. Some of them are really beautiful and really exciting, of course. I think that theme and imagery is kind of what draws people to them. Plus they sound really impressive, right? A lot of them are really fast and some of them are difficult as well. But yeah, I mean, I've always known of the Four Seasons, but I've never thought of them as quintessential repertoire. Yes, love it. I mean, they're nice, they're cool. I might listen to them, maybe, but yeah, I think they're a little overrated in my book. Okay, number 4, getting even more controversial here. Schindler's List. So I think this is a beautiful piece, and I don't want to like negate or downplay kind of like the significance of it, especially within like the movie and within the Holocaust. Obviously, it's very sad and does provoke a lot of like really intense emotions. But just the piece itself, with all of that like emotional chargedness taken out, it's just okay, you know? Like, it basically is the same thing 3 times, right? The melody is played 3 times, once in a new octave, right? Low, middle, and high. And then there's like one part that's different, that's a little bit tricky rhythmically. I don't know, just not the most interesting piece in the world to me. Obviously, there are some very beautiful renditions of it, and I really feel like to make this piece effective, you have to be like a pretty high level player because the structure of it isn't the most exciting. And finally, probably the most controversial one I have on this list, Sibelius. Yep, I said it. Listen, I love me a Sibelius as much as the next person, but I've always been a Tchaikovsky girl, you know, and you probably already know that. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd say Tchaikovsky all day, and maybe you disagree with me, and hey, that's totally fine. But yeah, I just feel like Sibelius has been like really, really hyped up as like kind of like the be-all, end-all of violin repertoire. And obviously it's a very important piece and it's extremely difficult. And if you're playing it, like you're probably a very high level violinist. But there's also a lot of other great concertos that are on par with this. And there's actually much harder pieces written as well. Think like Der Earl King, The Last Rose of Summer, God Save the King, maybe even potentially the Isaiah sonatas. I don't know, I just think it's gotten a little bit overhyped as kind of like the be-all, end-all of violin repertoire, and I don't think it is that. So that's my list, this is my opinion, but let me know, did we have some of the same pieces on our list? What is one piece you think is so freaking overrated? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you subscribe before you go.